Hey folks, I had some extra time here this weekend to kind of do a video that I just kind of wanted. I felt like rambling, I guess. It would be the real reason of doing this. But I also wanted to apologize if I sound a little congested. It's because I've been trying to recover from a really bad sinus cold that hit me earlier last week. So trying to kind of get over that still. But one of the big things on my mind lately has been the PlayStation Vita. Now it's been a subject for a while now, and most people have talked to a lot of people on Twitter who have asked kind of what I thought about it, and I have asked kind of what their thoughts were on the system. Pretty much the conclusion is that the system's going away, and it's probably going to be any time. Um, Frankly, because as we all are aware, that Sony has dropped support for the system. They're not bringing out any first-party games, which is really a shame. They're it's kind of like they're ignoring it. It's like the redheaded stepchild that nobody wants to really acknowledge exists, but they have. They will try to say, yeah, it's compatible with the PlayStation 4, and you can do things on it, and you have accessibility to the PSP library and everything, which I really think it's more of a kind of a gateway towards those now coming retro games from the PSP and the older Vita games, or what they at least have that are on digital. But for the most part, I'm still kind of sticking with the physical editions or physical copies of the Vita games. I've got a couple digital games, but I'm actually really personally I'm a big fan, and I guess I've always been cheering for the underdogs, whether it be Sega or whatever, or some of the more systems that seem awesome in concept, but just haven't caught on to the general public. So I'm going to kind of share some of my thoughts on some of these games and the PlayStation Vita systems themselves, and kind of go through that. So first we're going to kind of talk about, the first Vita I got was the Day 1 edition bundle system, which came with a case, memory card, the little Deviants game, and headphones, which, great package. I mean, that right off the bat, wonderful screen colors, great hardware. It was a little heavy, which they did improve on in the second iteration. It was kind of a nice incentive. This is the 3G version. For me, it was kind of a beneficial because I tend to travel a lot for my job. So I have long flights and everything. It's a great system. I was kind of disappointed with the battery life on the 01 version. I thought the 3G would be a nice effect that I have because in some places don't have wireless accessibility, and I knew like getting DLC games, or if I was downloading movies or whatever else to the system, I would need that. So. But overall, I was really happy with it. It's kind of now become my backup system for the 02 version, which I have here, the Borderlands Edition one, which I love. It's overall that they improved the battery life. I love the weight of it was reduced. There's a big kind of guffaw over which screen or which version has the better screen. Yeah, in a sense, I can see a slight difference, but only if you have them side by side. I do believe the 01 has darker blacks in it, if you're looking at it in that way. It kind of seems washed out, though, compared to... well, the second one kind of seems a little more washed out than the first one. But the clarity is still there, and overall, I think going in that direction to save battery life was a good choice. Personally, I haven't actually played Borderlands 2. I have the DLC still for it, and I haven't downloaded it. But I also have the PlayStation TV, which, again, another great concept. I actually jumped on this because I like the fact that I could actually play my Vitas on the TV. So if I was actually home, I could simply pop it in. It was really small. It had HDMI connections and a PlayStation 3 controller, because I'm always afraid with these handheld systems that the buttons are going to get worn out or the D-pad's going to get worn out. Even though they seem to have really high resilience to that. But just to have this on a big screen TV was great. I was disappointed that there's quite a few games that don't actually work with it. That's kind of disappointing. I've also used this too to kind of stream games from time to time or do some video capture, which I haven't really used too much in any of my videos. But for the most part, if anybody were to ask me if they really wanted or needed the PlayStation TV, I'd probably say no. Unless you're going to do streaming with the certain games that are available with it, by all means, it's a great choice. It's the only choice you have to really stream from Vita games, unless you end up modding your Vita to have AV output or whatever. But overall, yeah, I'm disappointed with it, especially since they're missing a lot of the applications that I think they should have had on the PlayStation Vita TV to make it more competitive against like your Fire TV and all the other little plug and play like Google Chrome, the plug and play entertainment systems. I guess I'm not really sure what the term is for those, because you don't have there's no Netflix on it. You have Hulu, but you don't have like all the other services that you would normally get on most modern streaming devices now these days. Especially with someone like me who doesn't have cable. I got rid of cable about 3 years ago, and I have no plans of going back to it. So, kind of those applications are my only way. Hulu Plus and all that stuff is all I really use. Anyway, jumping into some of the games here. These are no particular order. So, I'll start with probably the special editions I have, and work my way over to the regular versions. One of the big ones, Ys. Limited edition. I really liked the Ys series. I enjoyed, actually, the second, Ys Chronicles, I think, on the PSP was probably my first experience with the Ys game, and I loved it. I've only spent maybe 10 hours on that game. I'd like to go back to it. I got to a point where it was just frustrating me, and I ended up moving on with some of the other games I ended up picking up. But overall, I really liked it. I liked the story. I liked the characters. The graphics are amazing on it. The soundtrack is really good. Overall, it's very charming, and I wish to see more Ys, honestly. And it's great for on the go, in little spurts, pick up, do a couple dungeons, and on the way you go. This is actually the second of the series, I think. I don't even have it here, but Danganronpa series. I don't have the first one. This is actually the second one. I do have the limited, or this is the first one. I have the limited edition of the second one. I just didn't pull it out here. But I really enjoy Danganronpa series. It's quirky. It's dark. It's very fun. If you like the whole murder mystery games that are in vein of Phoenix Wright, whodunit type stuff, it's really quirky. They gather a bunch of high schoolers, throw them in the school, they lock them up. The second one takes place on an island. It's kind of the same concept, but they did improve on some of the stuff the first game either missed or was kind of weak on. I would say the first game is probably my favorite over the second one. I'm not too impressed with some of the newer games in the series they're coming out with. I think one's kind of like a third-person shooter that's coming out for it on Vita, but it shows kind of the ability of those fun mobile games. I'm getting more into those visual novel stuff, so it's kind of enjoyment for me. I would highly recommend Danganronpa if you have a Vita collection. If it's not in your collection already, get it. Whatever means, if it's just the special edition or the physical, or if you end up downloading it, it's definitely worth the trip. One of the older PS Vita collector's edition, Muramasa. I actually enjoyed this game on the Wii. That's why I ended up picking it up. On top of the fact that they actually had DLC for it, I really wish that the Wii had that ability to have those extra add-ins for it. But the extra stories and everything were a really nice addition. Amazing graphics in it. I love Vanillaware and their stuff that they do this. But I also wanted this simply because, too, of the fact that the extras that came in it. Because you get a face cover, the skin, the pouch, a lithograph, and an abridged soundtrack. Which, for me, I love little carrying cases, because even though my go-to one was the one that came with the first-year edition Vita, that's the one I kind of continue to use, but for the most part, I love the cases, because you can't really find those anywhere else, and it's only in the limited edition ones, and they're kind of getting harder to come by now. So, but that would be another one I would highly recommend if you like your quick hack and slash run through games, or you played the Vita or the Wii version and you wanted a little more because of the added content that they did for this. And it's not on the PlayStation 3, which I'm kind of surprised at too that they didn't do that. But Neptunia Rebirth PP, and this is actually a rhythm game. I was kind of disappointed in this limited edition. It didn't really come with much other than a fancy box, and they have like these little earbuds and this screen cleaner with the girls on it. Which, okay, whoop-de-doo. Earbuds are just into plastic. I'm never gonna use these things, but I got it anyway. I guess this doesn't have the soundtrack on it, which I was really kind of surprised at. That was kind of a waste. I would not recommend this limited edition version, really. There was nothing big hoorah in it or anything. But if you like rhythm games, it's kind of a quirky one. It's fun. I didn't put too much into it. I only put 10 hours, and I was able to unlock all the girls and most of the accessories and features, whatever they included on it. Hyperdimension Rebirth 2. I'm actually currently playing Rebirth 1. I'm 12 hours into that game, and so this is kind of sitting on my backlog. It hasn't been even opened yet. It's still sealed, actually. Not much in this one. It has a 2015 calendar, which by the end of this year is going to be useless, and a soundtrack, which, other than the calendar, I mean, it's for something this thick. I don't know. I really wish I had the first Rebirth one, but they only had 500 versions of that, and those sold out in like 30 seconds, which still pisses me off to this day, because I had one in my cart. By the time I checked out, it told me it was sold out, and they couldn't get me one. And I'm sure scalpers ended up getting, because now it's going for like crazy, man. It's like $500 on eBay or Amazon or whatever just to get the limited version of Rebirth 1. But I really want it because it had that special edition carrying case and the soundtrack and all that stuff in it. And yeah, this one came with a soundtrack for the second one, but it's not the same. Another one I would probably pass on if you're looking at limited editions, unless you really want a calendar to finish off 2015. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. The game itself, I can't speak much for the game because, as I said, I'm still going through the first one, which is great. It's very cutesy, it's sort of pervy, but it's fun. Another pervy game, which I haven't started playing yet, is Criminal Girls. I've heard very mixed reviews for it. Basically, there's 7 girls who are all covered are a part of the 7 sins or whatever, and you're supposed to set them on the right path, and you're basically in hell. So it's kind of an interesting story. I think that's the only reason I grabbed it. It was kind of cheap. I think it was only like $40 for this one. It just comes with a soundtrack, a small art book, and the game itself. But I'll probably speak more on this as I kind of get into it more. I don't know. Hotel Nikki, The Firefly Diary. Another quirky one. I actually just wanted to try this one. I've heard that it's a very short game and very frustrating. But the graphics in it are really cool. A lot of people compare it to like Limbo, and a couple of different indie games, which I think this version is only available through the actual website on NIS. You can download it, but I don't think this is one you're going to find in stores anywhere. So this is the only version that's physical. This comes with the soundtrack and another little art book. Pretty much in the same vein as the Criminal Girls. In fact, they're boxed about the same. So, but that'll be another interesting one. I'll give it a try. I don't think it's one I'm going to get too much into, though. One of my all-time favorites so far on the PlayStation Vita. It's another pervy game. I know this seems to be a trend of mine, but Sunrun Kagura, Shinobi Versus. I love the crap out of this game. I mean, I don't know why. Not for the fact that, yeah, it's girls and the clothes are tearing off, whatever. But the stories were unique, and each girl actually seemed real. Like, these are girls, if I was in high school, I'd probably be friends with, because they're all dealing with real-life situations, whether it was one was abandoned by her parents, one just has family issues, one was bullied by other kids their age for being weird in a sense or different from them. So it's like they all have backstories, which are really nice to kind of walk through, and each girl kind of develops as the game goes along. And there's kind of a friendly rival between all the different schools of the girls, and they've all had something happen to them in some form or another. I think one of them was like a spoiled girl who's trying to prove that she's more than just that she will work for things to get what she wants rather than just have things handed to her. So overall, yeah, I give this one a try. I'd really recommend this one, just for the fact it's a fun brawling beat 'em up. The 3DS version was okay. Burst, I think, which is the first one. This is technically a side version. I know that they're coming out with Shinobi Dark Crimson, which is the second game, which kind of happens after this one. Or this one happens after. All I know is it's somewhere in between there. But definitely for a Vita, pick this one up. I really enjoyed it. And it's actually the only Vita game so far that I've platinumed. That I spent all that time in and got all the achievements for. Common Limited Edition 1. Persona 4 Arena. Another game I love the crap out of. Everybody talks about it. I'm not really going to go much detail. This is definitely a must-have for Vita users, as everybody's going to say. What can I say that has already been settled that one? Little Deviants. I'm getting into the regular editions now and already getting stuffed up. Quirky game, worth $1. Came with the system. No. Not even going to talk on it. The Blaze Blue series. I don't really see these ones often. There's only 2 that have been released. You have Chronoplasm and Blaze Blue Extend. Basically game 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 of the series. I like fighting games, and I want them on the go, so I got them. But of course, the PlayStation 3 versions are superior to them. Plus, it has online play, and you can play this online too, but it's quirky. Batman Black Gate. This one's been talked a lot too. It's kind of disappointing. I didn't care for it. It was unique for the 2.5D versions. It kind of extended the story, but at the same time, it really didn't go anywhere. I don't know what their real goal was. If it was just to hold people over for the bigger trilogy coming. Yeah. Assassin's Creed 3. I never really liked this one. I put 5 hours into it and kind of dropped it. It was very glitchy when it came out. I kept hitting those glitches. It's like people could see you behind walls. If you jumped on top of walls and they were 5 feet away and their back was turned, they could somehow see you. I don't know. I kept finding some really weird glitch stuff with this game, and it drove me nuts. It was unpolished. I thought it was very unfinished, and they needed more time with it. And I know that came out with it on PlayStation 3 as well, and I would probably never play that one. Akiba's Trip. Another fun, quirky game I like. It's a brawler. Yeah, your whole thing is you're stripping clothes off of synthetic vampires, I guess, to expose them to light, and then they burn and turn to dust. Fun, quirky story, a lot of cool characters. It makes fun of itself. It never takes itself very serious. I would recommend it if you like the Sanra Kangura stuff. Give this a try. I'd pick up the PS3 version just because the loading times are probably better on it. The graphics really aren't that much better, but they're a little better than this. You can see some of the limited power ability of the Vita through this game, just with the draw-in of all the different characters, because there's a ton of people that will be on screen at the same time, and it kind of slows things down just a little bit. But fun game. Project Miko 2 Diva. I gave this one a try because I heard a lot of good things about it. It's a rhythm game. Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of unique to me, though, because it actually came with inserts, and you don't see inserts in Vita games often. Most of these just come with the cards, so I thought that was kind of unique. And I think the Vita is the only one that actually came with this Waze Schwartz playing card. I don't know too much about the game, but yeah. Gravity Rush. I actually played the demo on this and ended up picking this up recently. I haven't played it too much because it kind of gave me motion sickness, which doesn't happen often with games. And I guess it was just because I wasn't used to the controls yet. I will go back to this one at some point. It's on my backlog currently to get through and play a little more of. A lot of people really liked it. I recently found out they're going to do a remastered version of this for the PlayStation 3 or 4. Which, more proof that Sony doesn't care much about the Vita. Because they really needed to come up with a second game of this. But they didn't. This is actually a recent edition. I just actually got this last night. A Wolf Among Us. I love this game. I actually had it on the Xbox 360 when they were coming out with the different episodes, and I just wanted a physical copy of it, because I kind of want to play through it again, but I want to do it probably on one of my trips that I take just to kind of kill time. Because I really enjoyed the story, and I'm really hoping they come out with a second season of this. Really. Freedom Wars, another game on my backlog. I grabbed this for about 15 bucks. It was on clearance at Best Buy some time ago during the Christmas holiday or whatever. It's kind of like Monster Hunter. I'm not really a huge Monster Hunter fan, but I thought I'd at least give it a try. It is one of those weird ones that Sony put out themselves. And they slipped it under the radar. There was no advertisements for it. They just kind of went, oh, yeah, Freedom Wars. It's out. We did it. Go get it. I'm not sure of anybody who doesn't have the Final Fantasy X X2 remaster series, not in their collection, be it the PS3 version or the Vita version. I actually debated on this one quite a bit because I wanted a physical copy of X2, and they released it in Asia, and the art's different, which actually I think is a lot better than this one. But I never actually played. I played a little bit of X2. I owned a copy of it on the PlayStation 2 when it was originally released, and I just couldn't really get into it. And I never played X. So I thought, yeah, I'll give X a try. I've been hearing some good things about it. I'm not a huge fan of the story itself, but I'll give it a shot. Dead or Alive 5. Simply another game for the fun of it. Yeah, fighting. Another recommended one, Dragon's Crown. This is also available on PlayStation 3. It does have co-op, which has to be unlocked. A lot of people didn't like that. But overall, I like the story. The art was kind of unique, and it's just a quirky, fun beat 'em up. So that one's a good one to have, too, for your Vita collection. Oh, here's Rebirth 1. I already talked about it, but yeah, there's the cover. Lord of the Rings, Lego the Rings. Actually, my sister gave this to me. Just because she's like, I had no interest in it. I thought it'd be fun. I haven't had a chance to play through this one yet. It's a Lego game. Everybody knows about them. Mortal Kombat, another fighting game. Everybody knows about. Ninja Gaiden. I found this for like 10 bucks on clearance at Target. Decided to pick it up. This is the Sigma Plus one, which is actually the harder one to find, I guess. I've seen the other version of it, but yeah. I think I just picked it up on a whim. Sonic All-Stars Transforms, simply because it's a racing game and I wanted it on the go to play. I do have this on the Xbox 360, which I play the crap out of, and I'm kind of going back and going through it. Oh, and little note, Danica Patrick, I actually went to school with her, believe it or not. She lived 2 doors down from me in college for a semester before she went and got popular in her NASCAR races. So yeah, I actually had a hall party and sat next to her. Yeah, not gonna get it. One of the weirdest games, a Tales game on PlayStation Vita. I actually beat this one. I played through it. This one doesn't seem to be dropping in price very much. It's kind of expensive still. I'm surprised at, but it's exclusive to GameStop. You can't find it anywhere else, and maybe that's why it's kind of holding its value. But I really didn't like this game. It's horrible. I enjoyed some of the Tales series, but I didn't like this one. It's in Japanese language only. They didn't have the subtitles are in English, but the characters I didn't care for. The story I couldn't really get into, and it just seemed to drag on and on and on. You get to a point where like, okay, great, I got the bad guy. Oh, he's not really the main character, the main bad guy, but yet I had to go fight him, and then it keeps going on. It dragged, and I hate that one in RPGs. It just no. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I grabbed this simply because it is out of print, and you can't really find this in stores anymore. If they do, it's on clearance, it's pretty cheap, but it's also holding its value. So if you're a collector and you want to do that, hopefully you have this one. If not, find it. Uncharted. I actually had this for the PlayStation Plus. I've already played through the game, I beat it and everything, but I wanted a physical copy, and I kind of enjoyed the Uncharted series. This one wasn't as good as the PlayStation 3 series, but it was fun. I liked it. Virtue's Last Reward. I actually own this on 3DS, and I played it on 3DS, but I found a copy, and I really thought I'd get it to go on the go, but I never got around to opening it. But this is another visual novel. Really enjoyed the series. It's part of the 9991, 9 Doors, 9 Persons, 9 Hours. If you like the mystery games, again, pick this one up. This is a good one. X-Blaze. This one surprised me. I enjoyed the fact that it's kind of loosely tied to the Blaze Blue series. I'm looking forward to the sequel to this. It's coming out here this summer. It's a fun visual novel. It's got branching paths. If you just want to kick back and kind of read a story, this is a fun one. I would say give it a try. I can't really say it's going to be for everybody. Kind of a lover or a hate type deal, but worth a try. And lastly, Conception 2. I'm still playing through this one as well. This is the collector's version. It just has a soundtrack in it. It's from Atlas. It's a dungeon crawler, third person, but it's fun. I kind of enjoy it. I do want to play more. I can't really speak too much into it because I'm only a couple hours into it. But yeah. So that's my Vita collection. A little over 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, over 30 games. But yeah, anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm still going to continue to support the Vita. I still really enjoy the system itself. Yeah, I know it's not going to get anywhere, and in the end, it's going to be a dead system, which is going to be unfortunate. Hopefully somebody comes out with another handheld, because I kind of hate to see Nintendo dominate the handheld cornerstone of gaming. Now the fact that Nintendo's also moving towards mobile, that'll make things interesting. I will be looking into that. I have a feeling it's going to change some things, especially the way we think of cell phones and mobile gaming in general. So I kind of wish somebody would come along and make another great handheld system like this. I'd like to see more of this. Unfortunately, I think that other than the Game Boy or whatever the next iteration of the 3DS or Nintendo comes out with are going to be it. I don't foresee more of these coming out. So I'm going to milk this for as long as I can. But those are my thoughts. I'm sorry for making this video really long. I kind of wanted to just vent and talk and babble, I guess. So, but that's it. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you like, please thumbs up. Otherwise, I will see you next time.